Welcome to the Mystic Worlds of Wonders. I'm Christofina, CEO of ZuDiRa Production. Thank you, Divine Soul, for tuning in to my channel this very moment of time. You could be doing anything else, but you're here right now, and I thank you. But today's video is going to be more about why I've created ZuDiRa Production, so that you really know my true intentions about building this brand of who I sincerely am. But before I do that, tune in, Divine Souls. I have a special announcement for you. I finally opened up my store. So what you see right now are 3 digital products that are on sale that I personally created for you. So if you want to take the time to reflect your thoughts, audit your daily habits as well as your finances, but not just that, but dive deep into your own persona as well as your shadow, feel free to invest what resonates with your soul so that we together can do wonders. I also want to let you know that I am a financial representative, so if you need to protect your family from financial hardship when it comes to losing a loved one, or prepare for retirement, or just simply build generational wealth, feel free to comment down below financial freedom. If you need legal protection that is less expensive, or you simply just need to protect your own identity, feel free to comment down below protection, and I'll be more than happy to sign you up so that you are legally protected at the lowest rate, as well as protecting your identity from scammers. So, shall we carry on? The main reason why I built ZuDiRa, it was out of pain and expression of that pain, and I truly just ready to shine and stop allowing negative attributes take control of my own destiny when there's something so much greater than me living in the time of procrastination, struggle, laziness, or just simply imposter syndrome. Like, there's just so many negative attributes I can mention, but I am going through that. But there has been some internal work that's been happening throughout these past years or past month for me to take the time to invest in my business, and I sincerely just feel this willpower within me that's just telling me to keep going and keep moving on and moving forward and don't look back, because ZuDiRa Production is me, my brand, and no one can take that from me. No one can steal my blueprint. No one. It's unbreakable. And it comes from identity, because it's me. And like back in 2022, I didn't have a business idea, but I knew I wanted to build a business. And during that time, I was also with roommates, and I met these 2 gentlemen a while back in college, and I ended up living with them for a certain point of time. But I realized that they were building a foundation, and I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed helping them build that foundation and invest in that in a way, which was my time and energy. I just love helping people. But I also learned a lot from them, from these 2 guys, in the most ethical and unethical way. And they were ambitious, they were full of greed, they was just, typical white guys. But hey, I love them. I really do. And it was more of there's so much going on in that area of my life where it was full of darkness, and I sincerely transmuted that darkness to create something beyond my own understanding. But before I've met these people, for these individuals in my life, it all comes down to my childhood. There is something that's always being engraved in our minds once we're born. And I clearly don't know exactly what happened with me as a student came out of my mother's womb and so on forth, or before I was even born. I don't know my mother's emotions or whatever the case may have been, but it has put something on me. And I've realized that because it projected into my adult years. And sorry, I think I'm about to cry. Before then, I believe, like, I don't know what was going on with my mother. She was young when she had me, but I believe when I was 6 or 7, my mother, she burned my hand, and I this is what it looks like. I mean, I still have it to this day, and excuse me. I still love my mom, but it's so complicating. And do I have a good relationship with her this very moment of time? No, I don't, but it's okay. I've tried. I don't know. I can tell you a lot of stories behind what has happened with my mother, but my mother was nice enough to, like, after the fact she'd done that, she wanted her kids back, and I appreciate that, but I guess I didn't receive the love that my mother, I didn't receive the love that my mother could have gotten, or I don't even know how to talk right now, hold on. I didn't receive the love that I wish I could have gotten from my mother, but there were other family members who were willing to indulge their time and energy to get us back together, with the family until everything is settled down, or taken care of. And I appreciate my great aunt, for that as well. And there's just a lot, like, I had to remove myself from that, environment in order for me to become clear about what my calling is. And once that happened, like, I always question, like, why is my mom so negative towards me, or like, why she always comes off so mean, like, and I understand maybe there's something going on with her that I may not have a clear vision of, and I don't need to understand but it at all, because it's just a waste of time, or not even a waste of time. It's just like sometimes you just can't fulfill anyone. You just cannot do it. If you just seem to be, like, I guess, the odd one out of the picture, you remove yourself from it. And that's exactly how I felt. And as a child, my mom, as soon as, like, during the times, like, even teenagers, she always tells me, as soon as you turn 18, you're gonna get the F out of my house. Like, it was like there was nothing but negativity. And there was times where I have good moments with my mom, and there's majority of the time I have bad moments with her. It was like more of a narcissistic relationship, believe it or not, and that's how I see it. Sorry if you're seeing this, mother. Oh, here's my thoughts on it. But I don't know, it's just, I just seen it played out in my relationships too with guys, and I'm just thinking something has been imprinted in psychologically to the point I need to unravel that, like, unleash it, to be able to transmute it into a positive energy so that I live the life that I truly want, which is a healthier relationship with myself, including with others, if that makes sense. Also, not just the pain, but also the fact that I feel like I am a black sheep. I don't fit into society. Like, there's just so many like levels of what I go through as any individual who understands being the chosen one, if that makes sense. And there's just too many dimensions that I'm dealing with that I feel like maybe some of you guys may relate to. Like, you could be dealing with trauma, generational curses, not just that, but you dealing with in another dimension of like your own kingdom, your own world, your own castle. Like, there's just a lot. And I feel like majority of the time, I used to be overwhelmed, and I'm starting to like meditate a lot more, and I invested in certain tools that would help me like balance my energy, my mind, and I'm still working on it at this very moment of time. But I had to reflect on a lot of things. I can give you a whole story of my life, of the crap that I went through. I mean, everyone has their trial and error moments of their time, whether that's in the business or in just your personal life. But like, I sincerely loved it. I loved it, but I knew it wasn't good for me. Whether that was me being destructive, doing drugs, like, there was just certain impulsive behaviors that I've indulged in because of this imprint. And I'm not trying to blame or anything, it's just more of me reflecting on why I ended up acting the way I do or was, because it all comes down to the very beginning. When I was in this dark situation with this individual, this guy, God was literally talking to me. He was talking to me in my sleep. He was protecting me in the times where I was in this environment, because he knew that I had the power, the willpower to get out of where I was. And it all taking nothing but courage and faith and willpower. And until this day, I still have that within me. And as soon as I removed myself from that, I was just traveling constantly, whether that was physically or spiritually or just in another dimension. I just felt like I was always traveling, always moving. And I ended up moving to another place. It was like a well-balanced area. I felt very at peace, calm. But when I moved in that area, that's when God really talked to me. He will say things to me. He will agree with me about what our next step will be, what our next plan will be, together, working together, and I am happy he still has not given up on me, knowing the fact how many times I failed. Because he knew my heart, and he still does know my heart to this day. He knows me. And he knew my blueprint. And he knew that there was construction that needs to be done to build a foundation that is truly meant for me to embrace in this reality. But before I moved to California, I always, there was just this, I don't know, it was just a while back, like, I was just creating my own reality. And I bought this book, Become, Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. And as I was reading it, I was practicing the meditations and so on forth. And then I had this deja vu moment of getting like this big, huge treasure box and just holding it and then leaving. I didn't know exactly when that was going to happen, but it happened. And that was like a good year ago. And I have this treasure box with me right now to this day. And it was, there's so many mystical moments in this time. Like, I can only catch up with it at this point. But I was so fulfilled by God, because He knows that I sincerely want to follow a plan, that narrow pathway that fulfills me the most. And there was this time where I said, oh, let's go to California. Maybe we should go to California. And, and it happened. And here I am. And since I moved to California, I've had my experiences. Whether it's my ups and downs, I enjoy life to this day. And yes, it gets hectic. Yes, I get overwhelmed. And yes, certain things may not be going according to plan, but I'm still up and running, focusing on what really matters, which is me, myself, and I, and ZuDiRa Production. I do care for my family, but I need to care for myself before I can even pour anything into someone else's cup. Once I settled in and constantly asked God, what is my purpose? What is my calling? He given me downloads. Let me tell you, downloads. He also uninstalled certain things that did not belong to me anymore and install something that is more valuable for me to keep. And I also had my little upgrades, little software updates per se in the mind of mine. And there's still work that's being done to this very moment of time. It's an endless journey, and I noticed that. And today I actually went on a walk before I started this video, and I was just really diving deep into my shadow. Why I act a certain way, why do I, what is it about me, that triggers people. So many things to really think upon about who I am as an individual. What are my flaws? What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? I'm diving deep into my shadow because I sincerely would love my shadow be an ally for me, so that I can take the time to express myself. You and I be allies with our shadows and not make it seem like it's our enemy, because our shadow is what has been suppressed based off what needs or what has not been dealt with. And eventually, what's suppressed for so long will burst. My higher self, having that divine power suppressed for so long, she's coming out. She is coming out. Be the dragon, don't chase it. I told myself, be the dragon, don't chase it. And my higher self is yearning to come out. My higher self is yearning to be at home. And when I say home, coming back to myself, because all the trauma that I've dealt with in my lifetime are fragment energies. What you will have to do is call back your power. Call yourself back. Where is the rest of me? That's what I'll always ask. Where is the rest of me? When I started continuously asking myself that, that's when I started hearing my higher self a lot more. I heard her voice for the first time. I normally would hear God's voice, but this time it was her voice. And I even had a chance to say hi to her, and she said hi to me back. It's just such a beautiful experience. And I would love for that to happen for you too. If you really sincerely want to dive in deep, I'm telling you, there is something more than what appears to be in front of your face every day, every moment of time. Life, the outer world cannot give you what the inner world can provide for you. And I'm speaking of that because that is more fulfilling to me than what's going on outside. Even though I do love to be with people to some degree, it just depends. I love enjoying nature. I still enjoy life, but then I know that it all comes down to being meaningless. And when you get to understand who God is and what He's all about, and what all comes down to an end, which is blasphemy, you will start to realize what life is really about. And I heard this saying, like, if you believe you think you understand God, you're a narcissist. You don't need to be a narcissist to understand God. If you dive deep into His word every day, He gives you the answer. He explains to you who He really is. I love Him. I sincerely created ZuDiRa Production to build a solid foundation that's full of light and darkness. Because that is my life. My darkness is my shadow. My light is my divine power. And with that, I know that you have that within you every moment of time. I created this digital sanctuary for you to be able to surrender yourself, to be reborn, to transform, to renew yourself, for stratification, to be whole. And that is my mission